Hello again, gamers. Welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Captain.
And I'm Alex.
And today we're going to be talking about and showing you how to play and reviewing a classic game here, Quantum. Now, Quantum is a game that was published back in 1984. So this is a retro game review. This may be yet another one of a series that we've been doing of possibly overlooked games from, many decades ago. I mean, 84,
it's younger than us, so take it easy.
But, Alex, I think we need to come to the terms with the fact that we're middle-aged.
We are vintage now.
Yes, we are. We are
classics.
We are classics. That's right.
Whoa.
Us and Quantum.
Right.
So, now, first thing I want to say is that this game was sent to me from Kaptain Enterprises. I want to give a big thank you to Kaptain Enterprises. You can buy their games over at GamePuzzles.com. I'm going to put a link in the description down below to where you can specifically buy yourself a copy of Quantum. They are the current only place you can buy a copy of this game. So if after checking out this review and tutorial you'd like to buy yourself a copy, go down to the description down below and follow the link. So before we get too into this, I do want to say I've got a bunch of links in the description down below that you can check out at your leisure. If you want to get yourself some cool Board Game Captain merchandise, some gamer gear, there is a link to my Teespring store where you can get a ton of cool shirts like this that say, this one says I drink and I game, it's what I do, and it's got a mug of beer and a D20 on it. I also have mugs, etc. There's also a link to my Patreon if you're in a position to and would like to support the channel. You can head over to my Patreon, and there's a link to BoardGameCaptain.com, which is a great hub for all things Board Game Captain. And also, Lynn and I have been doing some semi-regular blog posts over there. So now, Quantum was designed in 1984 by Meg and Peter Aleph. Aleph, what do you think?
Aleph? Yeah.
And see, it is a bit of an abstract. Feel free to correct us if we're mispronouncing a name. It's Aleff. So they seem to be, according to Board Game Geek, it seems to be the only design to both of these designers' names. So they designed this one game together as a family, and then did not do any others. Yeah. This game only has 30 ratings on Board Game Geek, so I think it's mostly been an overlooked game.
Wow.
And the copy I was sent, so it had a bit, the packaging is mostly what you see here, though it was wrapped in plastic and had a bit of styrofoam. The styrofoam kind of disintegrated. So I think this is a copy from the 80s. I think this is like, I think they made a certain number and maybe never sold out.
All evidence points to this being as old as 1984.
Yes, it quite possibly is. So that said, this may be a very overlooked game, and the big question that's going to be on our minds is it a severe crime that this game was as overlooked as it is? So now, what does it come with? You've got this nice wood. It's got a wood frame that is made out of, according to the book, mahogany. It's got like a plexiglass.
Plasticky,
plexiglass cover, and then you've got a bunch of these game pieces of 4 different colors that come in varieties of stars and circles. So let me show a couple of these to the camera here. One side will have either a star and a circle. A star or a circle, right. And the other side is blank, and that is important for gaming. You can play this at 2, 3, and 4 players. With abstract games like this, I usually prefer 2 players, though. What are your thoughts on like abstracts at 3 and 4? I'm a little hit or miss on them.
They almost always seem like they've added abilities to a 2-player game or added capabilities to add 3 or 4 people, but it doesn't actually increase the quality of play. It's just being made possible. So they can put that on a box. That's what it seems like to me.
I want a full disclosure that I have not tried it at 3 or 4 players because I really like this game at 2 players, and I feel like even having played it a bunch of 2 players, I feel like that would be my favorite place to play it, even though I haven't tried it in 3 and 4. I will try it at that larger player count sometime in the future, but I really do think this game shines at 2 players, so take that as what it is.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we will talk a little more about that during the review. Then it comes with a big rulebook. Now, the rulebook has a ton of, it's black and white, and it has a ton of information about the history of gaming and ancient archaeologically found game boards and such. The rule book is a total of like 18 pages.
Yeah.
The actual rules to the game of Quantum are 2 of those pages. Yeah. Pages 14 and 15 are the rules to the game. And then there's a second game, a game variant, which is a bit icing on the cake, that's on the back. we'll talk about a little bit when we're doing the review. But that's basically it. So I guess we're going to head over to the table. We're going to run you through a full game. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about this game in plays and feels. And we're going to rate it and review it. Okay, so we're ready to play a game of Quantum. So the first thing you do in Quantum is the setup. And the setup is kind of random. So we pick up all of the pieces of our 2 colors based on how many players we're playing. We play with all the blue and brown pieces when playing at 2 players. You play with a smaller number of pieces when playing at 3 and 4 players respectively. Then the players toss all of their pieces into the board like so, followed by shaking the board around until the pieces fall into their holes like so, giving you a very random setup. Now we have to see if either player wishes to ask for a new deal of pieces. I'm playing blue, and I do not wish to ask for a new deal of pieces. I'm good.
I am also good.
Okay, at which point we're going to start playing. Now the first player is going to be the player who has the least number of pieces in the center 4 squares. Now Alex has 3 pieces in the center 4 squares, and I have 1. So I'm going to be going first. And to start with, all my pieces are on their blank side up. Pieces with their blank side up may move jumping like checkers. They can jump opponents' pieces, but unlike checkers, they can go diagonally or orthogonally, and they can do multiple jumps until they can't jump again. Every piece they jump will be captured. So now I'm going to do a move like that right now. The question is, which one? Because I have a lot of options.
At the beginning of the game, there's so many options for jumping.
So I'm going to choose to move this piece here, and I'm going to 1, 2, 3, jump 3 of Alex's pieces, capturing them. When I do, I'm going to reveal what the pieces are on my side of the board. They were all 3 step pieces, and then the piece of mine that just jumped over Alex's over here flips over and reveals itself to be a star. Now, once you jump over pieces, and you reveal yourself to be either a star or a step, the steps have a circle on them. From then on, when that piece moves, it must move like a star or a step. Steps can move 1 space in any direction rather than jumping, and if they land on an opponent's piece when moving 1 space in any direction, they will capture it. Stars move like a queen in chess, moving any number of uninterrupted spaces in any direction. Landing on an opponent's piece, again, will capture it. Instead of doing a normal move, you may also choose just to take one of your pieces and flip it over in the same spot, and that can be your turn. In addition, there are a couple of special moves I just want to mention real quick that may come up later during this example game. One is if you manage to move a piece into a corner space, you can do a transformation. In which case, what happens is that piece will be removed from the board and swapped with a piece of the opposite type. So if it was a step, it will become a star. If it was a star, it will become a step. Then you may put that piece back on the board in any space other than one of the center 4 spaces. In addition, there is the disaster move, which happens when the first player to reveal all of their pieces left on the board does so. The last piece revealed will be taken off of the board and placed back on the board in any space other than one of the 4 center spaces, and then it will explode, destroying all adjacent pieces to it, regardless of color, and itself will all be captured. So now that I'm done with my first turn, it is Alex's turn.
I'm going to use this piece to jump 1, 2, 3.
Whoa. You sure you don't want to go more?
4,
5. I was going to say, that could be a lot bigger. So that was a really big jump. And then what does your piece get revealed to be?
It was a step.
Now, I do want to throw out exactly how it is that you win this game. So there are 2 ways to win this game. One is by capturing all of your opponent's pieces, which Alex is off to a really great start on because he just captured 5 of my pieces in 1 move, and that is freaking awesome. The other way that you can win is by getting all 4 of the center 4 spaces occupied by 4 of your own pieces. If you do so, you will win the game. Now, if you have less than 4 pieces left on the board, but you are able to get all of your pieces in the 4 center spaces, and your opponent has none of their pieces there, you will also win the game of Quantum. So now it is my turn for a move, and let's see what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this piece here, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and land right there. Ooh, I got 2 of your stars in that one.
Hello.
But of course, the transformations mean that losing stars is actually not that big a deal. You can get them back.
It's a very strange game in that way. There's a lot,
Yeah.
a lot of interesting.
Well, it's interesting.
Things that can
It
happen.
feels like that move was borrowed from chess and getting to your opponent's side of the board, except that it's so much easier to do in this.
Yes. Let me get rid of these two. 1, 2.
And what did you reveal?
Another star.
Oh,
Yay,
a
finally.
star is
I still
born.
haven't taken a single star of yours, though. Look at that.
But you have taken a lot of pieces. Okay, I'm going to take this piece here, and I'm going to go jump, jump, revealing a star. Oh, and it's in a terrible spot. But I will. Oh, I captured another star.
Another one.
That was by accident.
1, 2,
Oh,
3,
holy
4,
crud!
5.
Wow.
1, 2,
That star over there too.
3, 4, 5.
That was yeah.
Hey, I finally took one of your stars off the board.
That was a bit crazy.
Oh, 2 stars.
Well played. However, I'm gonna return the favor over here with
Yeah,
this one here. I'm
yes,
gonna go 1, 2, 3.
War of attrition is heating up here.
Well, we've cleared a lot of space on the board now. That's for sure. All right. I got a star.
Nuts. Nuts.
Now, these moves that we just did, those were just the flip and stay in the spot you're in, which that is the whole move.
Right.
All right, I'm going to jump out of the corner here and capture that piece there.
Find some stars here. Damn it. Stars. Okay.
All right, I'm going to jump in the corner and I'm going to get me a star.
Leave them there.
And I'm going to, actually, you know what? I'm going to place the star, because I can place it anywhere I want except the 4 squares in the middle. So I'm going to place the star here.
Well, then what do we have here?
Aha. Oh, I just realized I put myself in danger there and didn't even do anything to defend myself. Oh, there we go. I'm defended. All right, I'm going to
That was pretty easy.
capture that there, and then that will turn me into a step, which I am going to put there. There we go.
There we go. That helps.
Yeah, I'll say.
Destruction.
Oh, I didn't even realize you did it. Oh, no. Oh, no. He got the disaster. He was able
disaster,
to... Yeah, he flipped his last piece and was able to move it anywhere and blow it up. That may be... That is... Oh, good Lord. I'm going to go here and immediately turn it into a star, because I could definitely use some more stars on the board, and I'm going to put that star there. But that might be game losing for me. I just lost multiple stars from that disaster. What a disaster it was.
What a disaster.
Yeah, that was really bad.
Ooh, lucky.
I'll take it. Uh-oh, where's that star going? Oh, I didn't even see that. So worried about everything else. What do I got here? Oh, heck yeah.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, that, I was going to say, most of my pieces left are actually stars.
Ooh, this is gonna be interesting.
And
Right
it's
now.
about to get very interesting.
Oh boy. All right.
I'm going for it.
Hold on.
Of course. Okay, we're going to move to the corner. I get my star. And I'm going to place it here. Game.
I knew it. That's the hardest shit to do. It's so hard.
Oh man! So this is one of the things I like so much about this game is that you are never out of it.
Right. Ever.
Because of that tricksy thing where by the end of your turn you were the only player to have any pieces in the 4 center spaces, and all of your pieces are in those 4 center spaces. You win. Often the person who seems like they're the underdog will find a way to trick the game and trick their opponent and win the game. In fact, every game we've played of this so far, the person who looked like they were losing won the game, which is what's so amazing about this.
Yes.
There you go. So that is a full game of Quantum. So now we're going to head back. We're going to talk about how this game plays and how it feels, and we're going to rate it and review it. Okay, so that was how you play a game of Quantum.
It's
That was so good.
it isn't always perfect.
That was so good.
That was like the perfect game to play through, and it went fast, and it showed everything you could do, and
It was really good.
it really brought it. It was nail biting to the very end. So that was that. I'm very pleased with that.
Yeah, that went really well. Okay, so this game, I don't have any negatives.
I don't think so. I don't think I have any negatives either. When we first played it, before we started setting it up, I was like, oh my, what
What is this?
What are we getting into? This is so bizarre.
It looks so weird.
I was very ready to be not excited about this because it was interesting, but I was like, oh my, because first of all, the board has all these designs. There's things on here that don't seem to have anything to do with gameplay.
Yeah, not really.
It's just decoration.
Yeah, mostly decorative. Yeah, except for the center square.
Center square.
Well, the only thing is like, because remember, there is the person who has the least number of pieces in the center square goes first, and then you go out. So each one is really just to denote another square, so you don't lose track of the squares. That's really it.
But I didn't know that looking at this board. I thought these all had something to do with it, and I was like, oh boy, we're really getting into something.
But it wasn't crazy, guys.
But it wasn't like that at all.
No.
You saw how straightforward it played. So
Very straightforward.
I didn't know what we were getting into, and I was very pleasantly surprised by this game.
So this game is so odd in the way the moves go, because the first half of the game and the second half of the game are almost like 2 different games that cohesively fit together. Because in the first half of the game, you're doing a lot of jumping. It's all about the jumping. And in the second half of the game, you're doing the either stepping or the star moves. Right. And then it becomes a lot more also about trying to race to the disaster move and also doing the transformation moves.
Yes, right.
Which are huge.
Right. So, and I wonder if we played it more and had more variation, I wonder if we would start moving disasters or transformations or moving across the board with stars earlier on. But it seems like you almost have to go through this this growth phase, or maybe not growth phase.
Because you clear out half the board with all those jumps.
You have to clear out the board in order for that second phase of the game to actually be feasible.
Yeah, because you got to because so much of the board is occupied at the beginning of the game. You got to do a lot of jumping around. And
I don't really think I know of a game where it does that, where you start the game one way and there's like this
transition,
but it's like almost like you could just start the game with fewer pieces. Right, and go into that, but no, they designed it so that you have this checkers jumping thing that actually sets up the real game. It seems to me almost, which is really, really interesting and actually a lot of fun.
Yes,
because you are doing this thing and it's just, but you're starting to build your strategy and you're starting to get to where you're going to do stuff.
The first half of the game with the jumping, it feels to me like the main thing is you're just looking at the board and you're like, where am I going to get the most bang for my buck? Where can I jump the most pieces? And then once you get past that and you stop being able to jump a ton of pieces, then it comes to, am I going to get more bang for my buck positioning and trying to endanger the center of the board, or capturing enemy pieces, or trying to move into the corner to swap for a star, to put the star in a place I want it to be? Where am I going to get the most bang for my buck? But the thing is, you're never out of it.
Never. Oh, never.
No matter how many of your pieces get captured, you always have a chance, if your opponent messes up, to win the game because of specifically what the win conditions are in this, which I think is brilliant. I think that the two ways to win and the one way having two possible ways to do it, it's almost three ways to win, kind of.
There's two winning conditions, but there's three ways to get there.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's the most brilliant part of this game.
Yeah, it's really good.
Because if you have one piece, you can win this game. And it's amazing.
And I did. I did.
You did it. You watched it happen. And before we reviewed it or filmed it, I done very similar.
You had done the reverse
before. So
you had two pieces left, and you beat me with the two pieces.
And I think that is the most interesting part of this whole.
Oh,
game.
definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're never out of it. There's and also the fact that you do that weird random setup, which I love that the pieces actually, because they're kind of weighted towards one side, and when you do that little shake in the circle and they fall into the holes, the random setup is really interesting. And we've not yet had a position where someone has wanted to, but you can say, I want to do a redeal, and the other player can say either, fine, and we're all going to pick them up and throw them and reshuffle it, and you can do it 3 times. The third time you'll have to take it. Or if the player doesn't want to redeal, they can instead say no, in which case you swap colors. So like I was playing blue, Alex was playing brown. If Alex had said, I want to redeal, I could say, no, you be blue. Or we're going to pick it up and we'll rethrow them in there and shimmy and shake it around until they all fall into the various cups. They call the holes in the board cups in the rulebook. Right. Yes, and that's really pretty great. Actually, they've thought of a lot of different contingencies here with this one. Things things that could be an issue, and found ways to fix it ahead of time. But also just in general, the game feels very elegant. All the moves make sense. And like your first game, you're going to forget little things. You're going to forget about how jumping into the corner can get you to swap the type of piece and then place it anywhere you want, or finishing, flipping up the last of your pieces is going to let you do a disaster move. But once you're a few games into this, it's going to become intuitive.
Yes, and you're going to start the strategies are really going to get very, very complex and very interesting. And you can think many, many steps ahead in this. But your plan can get literally blown up.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
also
a fun game.
The random setup keeps every game unique. Yeah. Every game is not the same as the last.
Right. So we were talking about, or you had mentioned how we like this at 2 players.
Yes.
Best. But I'd had an interesting thought that because you can literally be in this game with only one piece left.
Yeah.
3 and 4 players may have an angle that we don't really appreciate yet. So I think there's a possibility of those being interesting in their own way because of those win conditions.
We haven't gotten to try this. We've played it a bunch of 2 players, but we haven't gotten to try it at 3 or 4 yet. We may have to try it at 3 and 4 to test it out. If we do in the future, I'll pin a comment down below letting you know what the general feel was of 3 and 4. We're mainly, though, again,
it's a 2-player game.
We do feel like it is a 2-player game, so we're focusing in on the 2-player version for the review. Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to talk about with Quantum?
I do. It feels like a game that's 35 years old is innovative, and that's very strange.
Yeah, it feels like if somebody made this game today, and it probably would have a more modern looking board.
Right.
But if somebody gave me a more modern looking board with these pieces and was like, oh yeah, this game was designed in 2021, I would be like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Right.
Like, I totally get that. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how much this game thoroughly holds up.
Yeah. For sure. That's what it's. It's like they'd found something and it was lost to time or something.
I don't know why this did not get the attention it deserved, but this is a criminally overlooked game.
Yeah, I agree.
It really. So yeah, if you agree and you'd like to check this out, definitely check out the link in the description below to buy it from Kaptain. Because I really feel like more people should discover this game. I think it's very sad when games like this sit around in a warehouse for 35 years and don't get played. They need to be played.
When they're this good. I mean,
yes.
Geez, come on. So, all right.
Who should rate it first?
I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
Because of its, like I said, the innovative, because of its gameplay, because of the win conditions, the variability. This is a 9 for me. This is a pretty amazing game, I think. Yeah, this is like...
Wow.
Yeah, it's not top 5 games for me, but it's close.
It's... Wow.
Yeah. This is an amazing game. I'm like when you said criminally overlooked.
It's criminally overlooked.
It's criminally
overlooked.
This literal physical game has probably been sitting on a shelf
for 35 years.
35 years.
And that is a shame.
Yeah, that's
okay.
That is a mistake.
I am also emphatically positive on this game, though not quite as high as you. Okay. I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 stars. Okay. Still a super high score.
Yeah.
This game was criminally overlooked.
Yeah.
Highly recommend checking out this game. It's so weird, so different, and because it didn't get widely played, there's nothing really modern out there like it.
That's what I'm saying. Where did this? Why is this so new? It's so strange when it's.
I think it's just that people didn't get to discover it. Maybe it just didn't get the right distribution. It didn't get out there.
Because none of the ideas even seem to have evolved from it.
Well, it's because nobody played it.
Yeah.
If they didn't get to try it, they're not going to make their own games designed based on it. It's just not even
enough people played it to steal from it.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to give a big kudos to the designers. Yeah. I'm sad that they never got to design anything else.
Yeah.
Meg and Peter Aleph. I think you guys did a phenomenal job on this game. I wish I had discovered it when it was new, and I wish it had sold better so you guys would have designed more games. Because this is some brilliant design in here. I really enjoy this. 8 stars for me.
9 for me. Clearly ahead of its time.
Yeah, fantastic game. This is a 2 thumbs way up review from us.
For sure.
Yeah, we can highly recommend this to fans of abstract strategy games, I think. Mm-hmm. You have to like abstracts, but also like a little bit of a weirdness to your abstracts, because the whole random setup is very different from a lot of abstracts.
Yeah.
And that's a little weird, but there are some other random abstracts out there. One of the games in the Gift Project has a random setup. Is Czar. Czar has a random setup. So if you like games like Czar with that random setup and then you attack, that's the closest other modern abstract I can think of that's at all similar.
But for me, it's the win condition thing. I think that's just pure genius.
Oh, it definitely is. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
The multi-win conditions and the fact that the one when you have less than 4 pieces on the board gives you a even alternate way to win.
Fantastic.
Yeah, very awesome. So there you have it. If you enjoyed this review and tutorial on Quantum and you'd like to see us do more review and tutorial videos like this, be sure to give it a like. Share it on all forms of social media. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Kaptain. That's Kaptain spelled with a K on YouTube. Be sure to comment down below if you have any questions, comments, concerns on this video or the game of Quantum. And until next time, game on.